Hello and welcome back to another housing video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni, where we look at all new housing items added in various patches, and Dawntrail added a bunch of new housing items. We're finally getting around to looking at them on these videos now. So I'm going to look at 3 items in particular that are actual fixtures, so obviously not furniture items, but fixtures such as ceilings, walls, etc., stuff like that. There are 3 new fixtures as of 7.0. There might be more added obviously in future patches. Those include the tiled carpeting, which is a weaver craft. We have ourselves the Wisteria ceiling lamp, which is of course a alchemy recipe, and then we also have a goldsmith recipe for the Seafade interior wall. These items in particular aren't designed to go with each other, they're just the fact that these are the 3 only fixtures that actually exist so far in the expansion. Let's look at these items together then, or individually. So of course this is to remodel the interior. So for fixtures, this then is what the tiled carpeting looks like. So as you can see, we have ourselves, it's quite an interesting texture actually. Let's just apply that for a second. If we zoom in, you'll see that the texture itself is not quite bubbly, but it gives that kind of weird texture effect. I don't know if it comes through on YouTube. Maybe if I stand still, so the bitrate catches up a little bit, but you'll see that it's a little bit bibbly bobbly in comparison to some of the other floor tiles and things we've had. In terms of looking at it from a distance though, it certainly does give that carpet effect. Carpeting is not easy to actually pull off in a game because it's not, you know, lino, things like that with reflection mapping is easy enough from what I can see, but this looks really good actually, doesn't it? This looks really, really nice, very modern. If you're going for a sort of modern look to your house, or in this case an apartment, you could go, you know, for a lot worse than this. I actually really like that. I really like that. That's really cool. And I like the pattern. It's something that doesn't immediately look like you can see where it repeats. You'd have to stare at it for a little bit of time. More often than not with repeated patterns, I can see immediately where it starts repeating, and I'm sure if I looked at these Tetris blocks long enough, I could probably see the same. It's really cool though, isn't it? I would like to see more of this, more of these sort of different patterns and things, more carpeting, honestly. So a lot of the ability to make these sorts of things came with Dawntrail. It'd be interesting to see how many more things get enhanced in terms of furniture, right? Because obviously we have our fixtures being affected by the lighting and shadow changes, but it would be nice to have that applied to furniture such as wood and things, which currently it does not, so it might look slightly out of place in comparison. So in terms of the lighting then, the Wisteria ceiling lamp, immediately you can see the difference, by the way. Let's just take that off for a second. So we've got currently the Watcher's Palace, so it's a sort of white coloured light, maybe a bit yellow. You put a bit Wisteria one on before even looking directly at it, and we've got this purple glow. So if you're the sort of person that wants to have that kind of purple lighting, this is a really good option for you. It is absolutely freaking beautiful as well, apart from the light that's cascading down. Look at that. It actually has butterflies flying around the lantern. That's really, really nice. I also love on this that it's a little bit asymmetric. We're not looking at identical length strands coming down. Of course, the 2D nature of each of these individual parts of the plant, or the petals, you know, obviously you're not going to look at it for too long, but it does look very pretty. If you were to combine this with something like the flower garden, like the flower carpet, some other items, maybe some partitions, maybe a ceiling, maybe glitch something up there so it looks more natural, you could make something look really good, very nature-like. And the butterflies are really nice as well, aren't they? And of course, one of the other questions with a lantern like this, or a ceiling light I should say, is what does it look like in different lighting conditions? So that's on full. On the lowest setting, obviously, you've got this kind of, ooh, that looks really interesting, that kind of dour, darkened. Obviously with the lights off, they go solid black. Look at that. It's like they've been burned to something. That's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. And then we've got mid-tier lighting. Yeah, honestly, it's going to look better in full blast, isn't it? A bit of mood lighting definitely looks quite nice as well. I like the luminosity on the butterflies as well. Those are really cool. You can't see them when it's off, though, like at all. They just disappear. Really cool item. All right, so that's the ceiling lantern. Next, we have ourselves, of course, the walls. That's the other fixture. And we've got the Seafade interior. Now, of course, there are other sea-related items. I would imagine this is just a fade between blue and white. It says, the shade of blue can be best described as a gentle blend of sky and ocean. So let's plop this on here. And yeah, this is not designed to go with these items, obviously. But actually, let's put on some proper lighting for a second, because we can't really see with that purple lighting. But yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? Kind of like that baby blue. And we've got the white into the blue there. More transitional colors would be lovely. I'd like to see some reds and purples, things like that. I think gradients are sorely overlooked in housing. You know, it's something that we need more of. But yeah, you could make all sorts of sort of maritime, sort of, yeah, that kind of marine sort of thing. If you're running like an aquarium or something, it'd be a nice background. You know what I mean? And as well as partitions that were dyed blue. What we really need, though, in the future is the ability to have gradient dyes so that you could dye two sections of the same item. Since we've got a dual dye palette system, there is actually Glamour that does that. There's a couple of items that have gradient dyes where they blend into each other, whichever colors you pick. I would love to see that applied to housing as well. But yeah, it looks really nice, actually, doesn't it? That blue. But yeah, so obviously, those are our 3 items together, what they look like. And they do not, but you know, they're not intended to go together in the slightest, but there we go. I thought that was the best way to showcase those. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. There's lots of housing stuff to look at. Some of it is slightly harder to get than others. Some of it is from treasure maps. So of course, I'm going to have to go out my way and roll the dice with RNG and hope I can get some of those drops. Not for the lack of trying already, but hopefully we can get some drops soon. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time for more stuff.